Hi, my name is Akshay and this is my best friend Matthew. And in this video, I wanted to compare and contrast the differences and similarities between our different experiences of me as a Hindu going to a Methodist church for the first time and him as a Methodist Christian going to a Hindu temple for the first time. So I'll start with my experience. So my experience going to Matthew's Methodist church for the first time was very positive. I would say that I very much enjoyed the positive atmosphere in the building, and I really liked the way that the church seemed to emphasize not just like having relationships and friendships at the church, but also trying to cultivate and maintain relationships outside of the church by organizing events, not just in the church, but events outside the church, so you can see people outside of the church itself, so you can kind of interact with people in a different setting. And I also enjoyed the music because I listened to a Christian radio station, so I was already pretty familiar with a lot of like popular Christian songs that they would sing in the church, and I enjoyed the way that they would choose specific songs with the specific lyrics that would tie into that specific verse they were going to go through in that day. And I also like how they have like two big screens, so you can like read along with the lyrics as it's being sung. And even if you don't like want to sing, you can still just like read the lyrics and get the messaging of it. And finally, I would say I really enjoyed just how friendly everybody in the church was. Like even for a first timer like me who's never been to that church, they treated me as if I had been there for so many years, and there seems like they're very kind to strangers and new people. They just seem to try to cultivate a good positive relationship with all new people that come in there. So yeah, those are the reasons why I enjoyed going to a Methodist church for the first time as a Hindu. And so now Matthew is going to discuss his experience with going to my Hindu temple for the first time.
Hello, I'm Matthew, and I just want to say going to a Hindu temple was a very new experience for me. I've never been to really any other religious place like that, place of worship. I've only been to a church, and going to it was kind of a new and exciting experience. The first thing I noticed when going there was the way they worship. It was much more like individualistic in the worship, and there were a lot more like idols. They had these idols made of gold, and you would worship those. It wasn't like there was like a spiritual leader or anything really giving you a message per se. It was all like on your own type stuff, and you were going to just kind of learn about them on your own. There's no like books or anything like that. They had some chanting and prayer type stuff, but all in all, it was very individualistic in that sense. The second thing I noticed was actually the people. It wasn't really, and I don't mean this in a critical way, as like friendly, in a sense of people really weren't talking a lot to each other. They were kind of more focused, I guess, in a sense, than maybe in a church, which is more like community based. They were more like individualistic and just kind of focusing on themselves, and but that doesn't mean it was bad. And the third thing I kind of noticed was that the actual worship was pretty short. It was maybe like 10 or 15 minutes at the most. And then it was people would gather together to go eat in the cafeteria. And I thought that was kind of cool that they fed everyone. It was a lot of food. They cooked this like every Sunday, I guess. And it was cool to try new food that I'd never tried before. I don't even know the name of it. But it was interesting in that sense of how different it was from a church. But I could see the appeal of it and how people could go every Sunday and do this, because it was just different than what I'm used to. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. And all in all, it was a fun experience. And I have to say, Akshay, having experienced both my church and your temple, I think you should become a Christian.